Hello, I'm Dr. Edward Wheeler. I'm the founder of Total MindPower Institute. It's a personal growth company founded on creating identity awareness and identity expansion in the lives of frustrated professionals who want more from their life, from their efforts. Now, today we're going to talk about something that you may find a little bit interesting, because I happen to believe deeply in disciplined execution, but maybe not from the perspective that you think I do. See, discipline is important, and discipline is nothing more than the ability to give yourself a command and follow it. It's not suffering, it's not painful, it's not anything other than being able to direct yourself. And for you to be able to direct yourself, you've got to have direction internally. See, discipline does matter. In fact, many of the opportunities that have come to me, that I've experienced in my life, have come through discipline. Me learning to be able to give myself a command and follow through on something. Follow it through to its natural progression. Many years ago, I developed a very healthy relationship with this word. And discipline is not just something that I consider difficult, painful. I just keep it simple. What did I say I'm going to do? What am I inspired to do? And then I find a way to get myself to do it. And I use direction, topic we're going to talk about in depth today, to guide me to the disciplined action. So, as you watch this today, perhaps you've experienced success, joy, and happiness, and it's been because of your healthy relationship with discipline. And discipline's probably played an important role in your life as well. See, discipline helps us follow through. It helps us honor commitments. It helps us continue moving when things become difficult. Right? Being able to discipline yourself to one idea that if you don't feel like you can do something, you flip it in your mind right away to, I must find a way or make a way. That's the depth that discipline can have. Discipline matters, but it also has limitations. Now, understanding those limitations can change how we approach growth. Have you ever noticed that there are seasons where discipline feels relatively easy for you? You know what you're building, you know why it matters, and you know where you're going. And showing up feels very natural. Then there are other seasons of life, other times in your experience of life when it's hard. Work is hard. You find a way to stay busy. You still try to do the right things. You put your effort into it, but everything feels heavy. And execution of what you're disciplined to feels heavy and requires more effort. Motivation feels lower. Momentum slows down. And what I find is that the go-to answer for many people is, I need more discipline. I don't think that's usually the answer. I think discipline is often being asked to solve a problem that it was never designed to solve. Discipline's an execution tool. It helps us act. It helps us stay committed. It helps us maintain standards. But discipline does not create purpose. Discipline does not create mission. And discipline does not create identity. And certainly, discipline does not create direction. Discipline's the vehicle. But every vehicle needs a destination. This is one of the patterns I see frequently in capable professionals. They become successful because they're disciplined. Then at some point they begin to feel disconnected. Not because they became lazy, not because they stopped caring, but because the structure underneath their execution needed attention. They've lost a connection to their purpose. They've lost their connection to what they contribute in the bigger picture of what they aspire to become. See, I will teach you within Total Mind Power that direction matters. Purpose shapes mission. You've got to be willing to explore why you're here, why you're doing what you're doing. And you may not think you have time to think about that. I just will tell you that you can't afford not to start there. Because when you have clarity on your purpose, why you're here, why you exist, whether it's to honor your parents, whether it's to raise a healthy, successful, happy child, whether it's to have a level 10 relationship with a important, significant other, all of those are aspects of your purpose. I'm just asking you to answer the question, why am I here? Why do I exist? What's important to me? And it starts with a question, a statement. It's not really a question. It's a statement. The purpose of my life is, and be willing to fill in the blank. Now, some of you know my story. I was going through a very rough time about 20 years ago, and I was asked that question, what's the purpose of your life? And I was challenged to answer it. And because I was going through a tough season of life, I'd lost perspective, I'd lost connection to what mattered to me. The only thing I could come up with was the purpose of my life was to be happy. Pretty fundamental, pretty foundational. It's I'm sure what my parents and my grandparents wanted for me, right? They wanted me to be happy. I just I was disconnected to it. And you may say, well, that's not what you're talking about, Doc. That's not the depth of what you mean by purpose. Yeah, but you have to start somewhere. Because purpose shapes how you contribute. And if you see, what I found is if I could just look at my life through the lens of happiness, choosing to be happy, regardless of what was going on around me, that would lead to bigger and better things. And now my purpose statement is several sentences long. I think the last time I measured it was counted the words, it was over 70 words. There's a big difference between to be happy and the other 72 words. I just filled in the gaps. Right? And it's aligned with, I would suggest to you that I know that it's aligned with you. Because you're here listening to a video about personal growth and purpose, mission, worthy ideal, definite chief aim. And you may be a struggling professional who's had success but is disconnected from it. See, that was me 20 years ago. I had all the trappings of success, but there was no fulfillment. And I was suffering because I was focused on what was wrong rather than all I had to be grateful for. And all I had to do was change my perspective. But understand, purpose shapes mission. Mission shapes your worthy ideal. So purpose is why I exist. Mission, if we just strip it down to its brass tacks, it's how I contribute. What do you contribute in your life? Worthy ideal is who I aspire to become, and it's a big idea. It's something that you give yourself time and space to grow into. Who do I aspire to become? What do I want to accomplish with the remainder of my life? Not the next 6 to 18 months. See, that's definite chief aim. It's what do I want to accomplish in the next 6 to 20 years? Right? It's a bigger picture. And you're giving yourself more space and time to accomplish bigger and better things. But it's the meaning of your life. So purpose shapes mission, mission shapes your worthy ideal, worthy ideal shapes the definite chief aim. See, because if you know where you want to be in 6 to 20 years, then you can start lining up your life over the 6 to 18 months with giving yourself a measurable target that would naturally lead you in that direction. Now, gather this. If you're taking notes, here's the important aspect of definite chief aim. The purpose of that definite chief aim is to expand your identity. It's to give you clarity on who the person is who would accomplish purpose, mission, worthy ideal, and most powerfully, definite chief aim. Because if you can get yourself to become that person, more caring, more disciplined, better communicator, new skill sets, things you got to learn, who you're becoming. If you can get yourself to do that, then that is setting you up and launching you towards living other aspects of your directional identity. Right? Living your purpose. Contributing in the way that you want to contribute in your life. And I will tell you that when you begin to focus your being on growth and contribution and taking it away from significance and certainty, right? Those are two different levels of existence. And it's all the focus of the mind. I contend that through growth and contribution, you'll achieve all the significance and certainty you could ever desire. But if you're living your life through the lens of significance, certainty, uncertainty, and trying to achieve love and have people like you, see, we need those things, right? Those are our human needs. Certainty, uncertainty, love, and significance. But we don't achieve them by focusing on acquiring them. You achieve those significance, love, uncertainty, and certainty through growth and contribution. And living in alignment with growth and contribution, and living in alignment with the direction that you're going in your life. Knowing your purpose, having clarity of your mission, know who you're becoming, be committed to growing into that person and then contributing in powerful ways to other people. That's a life of fulfillment. If you structure it right, that's a life of all the money you could ever want to earn. This awareness supports movement. And when you can expand your identity, you'll start to create evidence of it in your life. But if they're not aligned, discipline starts to carry too much weight. And people try to solve confusion with discipline. Lack of clarity with discipline. Drift with discipline. You ever felt like you're just drifting along? Day after day, week after week, month after month, and you're not really progressing? And you may have this voice in your head that says, I just need more discipline. I'm here to tell you, you don't need more discipline. You need direction. And that's where we start. This is fundamental in the Institute, in what I teach, Total MindPower. This is where it starts. Discipline's never the root issue. The root issue is direction, identity, clarity. So one of the most important questions and valuable questions you could ask yourself is, where am I trying to solve a direction problem with more discipline? The answer to that question reveals a lot. Not just the question itself, but being willing to answer it for yourself. To seek the answer. Well, is that what I'm doing? Is that what I'm trying to do? is just be more disciplined, but I don't really know where I'm going. And I don't know why it matters to me. See, I will tell you the next step for you, if that's you, is to get more clear. Get clear on your purpose. Get clear on who you want to impact, who you're becoming. Because when clarity improved, discipline feels natural. It feels lighter. It just feels like it's a natural part of life. Yeah, this is what that person would do. Makes sense to me. And I can do that. Or I can learn to do it. I can get better at it. See, and it's not because you're doing less. It's because you're in alignment. And alignment has a vibration to it. It has an energy. It has a feeling for you. And when you're aligned, and that your alignment increases, then you create momentum. And at times in my life, I've had momentum. And if I look back on it, it's because I had clarity of what I was doing and why I was doing it. So I want to thank you for spending a few minutes with me today. If any part of this resonated with you, I encourage you to take the next step. You can reach out. I'm going to put the way to connect with me in the notes for this lesson, but follow that intuition. See, don't let this just be 10 or 12 or 15 minutes of your life that you listen to me. To some guy on the internet, maybe on YouTube I've never met, but he had a good idea. Don't let it just be that. Follow it through. Take it to the next step. Learn how to get in alignment. Start there, because I want you to accomplish big things. I see you in great success, and I believe in you. I'm Dr. Ed. See you next time.